You know if it was Bigfoot based on the sound of his steps alone. Here are some bizarre Bigfoot sightings that scientists struggle to explain. The brown footage. Originally uploaded to YouTube over 12 years ago. 12 years people have tried to debunk this, but not one person has been able to. It happens very quickly. But with a trail cam, this person managed to capture a strange, gigantic creature darting from one tree over to the next. At the beginning, we kind of almost see it hiding behind the tree, trying to remain hidden as best as possible before making a quick escape. Its limbs are extremely lengthy as well, and its upper body looking mighty built in comparison to its lower half. Although it could also possibly be mistaken for a human as well, there's just something off about the shape of this guy that just doesn't sit right with me. There's a clear uncanny valley vibe to this creature. The way it moves, the way it swings its arms, it's more animalistic than a regular person. When you live out in the middle of nowhere, you're almost expecting to come across situations that your mind simply can't make sense of. Uploaded to YouTube many years ago, we get a very interesting piece of footage of what appears to look like some sort of bear or giant dog, until this giant creature decides to stand up. Immediately, I'm taken aback by the sudden change in its shape, going from some animal on all fours to standing completely upright, really showing off the intense build this monster has. It was already big while being closer to the ground, but getting a proper perspective of it with all the foliage around it and how far away the camera is, I can only imagine how much bigger this thing would be if the cameraman got a bit closer. Usually Bigfoot likes to hide out in dense forest, so seeing it out in the middle of a field is quite eerie. Capturing footage of Bigfoot without him even being aware is almost too good to be true. Usually we always just see him running off, but in this trail cam video, they managed to capture a supposed Bigfoot just chillin' in the middle of the woods. The fact that this video was mainly just Bigfoot staying in place for quite a bit of time, like some animals would, makes me question this piece of so-called footage. It's different from the other Bigfoot videos, which is why it makes it so much more intriguing to me. We're simply just observing it be, wondering what it's going to do next. It keeps you on your toes. Towards the end of the video though, when the camera changes, we get a bit of a jump scare of a giant log being tossed across the camera, and it then switches again to someone or something holding the camera. If anyone threw a rock at your loved ones, wouldn't you be fired up as well to see who did it? This video was uploaded to YouTube by Cabin in the Woods, and a man tells the story about he and his daughter were going along a hiking trail when suddenly his daughter was hit with a rock. She was obviously fine, but it was shocking enough for him to get all dad mode and defensive about it. When he tried to see who threw it, he noticed the large brown stature of the beast in the distance. With his curiosity piqued, that's when he takes out his camera to go and follow it. When he managed to finally catch up to it, the supposed Bigfoot tried to do the whole stay still and camouflage tactic. And man, can they stay super still. You wouldn't even notice it unless he zoomed in. But this guy is not moving. He almost looks like tree bark with the texture of his fur. Based on the cameraman's estimations, his speculation of the creature's height had to be around 9 feet tall. That's terrifying. A standoff with Bigfoot in the middle of nowhere? Yeah, no thanks, I'm good. Unluckily enough for this guy though, whoever was filming it didn't seem to have a choice. This footage was apparently captured in St. Elmo, Illinois back in 2012, and what appeared to be a peaceful day of riding on a snowmobile just turned into recording the most intense Bigfoot standoff to ever exist. With wild animals too, you don't know what they're capable of doing. Although this supposed Bigfoot is just standing there, one thing could easily set him off and he'd suddenly be charging down towards you in a blink of an eye. What really irks me though is that we can see the camera person make a horrible choice at trying to get closer to this thing. Humans are way too curious for their own good. We often forget about our own mortality. Despite his monstrous size, he is the master of camouflage. He will follow in your shadows wherever you go if you accidentally stumble within his territory. These are terrifying Bigfoot sightings that have left the world questioning its existence for years. Coming across the legendary Bigfoot when you're alone in the woods? What exactly do you even do? Thankfully, the cameraman in this video was on an ATV, so even if it did start running at him, they had a better chance at escaping rather than on foot. But as mentioned, our main protagonist of this video is driving along with his ATV in the woods, when all of a sudden, when he's approaching a sharp turn, we get the image of this giant, dark, furry creature right on the edge of the path. Obviously, the ATV rider is absolutely shaken by this encounter, hunter, the brain not fully grasping what it was he just saw. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Even when he plays it back in slow-mo, I can't even decipher where the beast's head is at. Needless to say, after taking a few more double takes at the thing, the dude put the pedal to the metal to get far away from whatever it was. When we look at Bigfoot footage, some of them are valuable proof of this showing its absolute sheer force and velocity. This is one of those videos. This was also taken with a trail cam somewhere in the southern parts of the US, and apparently from their explanation is that Bigfoot was trying to scare off a skunk by throwing a rock at it. I know, not much to take away from this, but it's the fact that while they were playing this video of the rock being thrown, you could not see it until you paused the clip. The rock was being thrown so fast that the camera was not able to pick it up under normal speed. What animal can do that in the middle of the woods? And not to mention, at the height it was being thrown at, it's pretty tall. If you ever come across a possible Bigfoot, you run in the other direction. Got it? Bigfoot apparently wants to get into baseball based on this video. Uploaded in September of 2023, a supposed Bigfoot was caught on a trail cam near Banff Park boundary. The description of this video though is that apparently the Bigfoot was giving a warning to a nearby hunter by splitting a log on a tree. It's a little terrifying, I'm not gonna lie, especially the sound that emits after he knocks it against the tree, really showcasing that sheer force we were talking about earlier. This branch literally splits into pieces. That is terrifying. Person in a costume or not, I got the warning and I'll be sure to get out of there ASAP. Sorry to bother you, Mr. Bigfoot, sir. What's worse than seeing a Bigfoot in the woods? A Bigfoot on a snowy mountain. You know how hard it is to run down a mountain covered in snow? Not easy. Two hikers back in the late 90s were recording their journey up along the Himalayas. They were out there for a while before anything weird happened, because it wasn't until they really started getting higher up the mountain that they noticed a strange creature climbing alongside them just a few feet away. No safety gear on this thing, it doesn't have proper suit or shoes for this climb, and it actually looks like it's all one color. It does look like brown fur when the camera zooms in closer. Thankfully, whatever this thing was didn't seem to notice them, because you do not want this wild animal chasing you down a 7,000 meter drop. Usually Bigfoot is found in North America, right? Well, apparently they're also migrating to Russia somehow. This is what the video is labeled as, at least. A supposed Russian Yeti was found running and jumping through these woodland areas back in 2009. It happens all very fast, but I think this is the first footage I've ever seen where this Yeti is running in a more ape-like manner, rather than the typical walking man that most Bigfoot videos show. People in the comment section thought the same thing as me. Everyone called it some sort of gorilla, but when we saw the last few moments of the clip with its arms stretched out, we got to see that famous lanky look that Bigfoot is known to have. It definitely has to be some sort of animal. The movements are way too animalistic for a person to mimic. Could this be an ape? Or an actual Bigfoot appearance? Do you have any Bigfoot sightings you want to share? Let me know down below, and I will see you all in the next video.